The new world order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. Make sure you sign up and petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go straight to change.org and look it up. Now check this out. I've been telling y'all about how Mike Pence, the vice president for this country, and the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, they were going to go out to Turkey to actually meet with the Turkish president Recep Tayyip Erdogan to urge him basically to convince him to do a ceasefire. Well, it turns out that they actually came to a deal. Despite Erdogan talking all of that shit, he ain't even meeting with him and all of that. He actually did meet with him. And they came to a deal. It basically called for the halt of Operation Peace Spring, which is what they're calling it, to end for 120 hours to allow for the YPG or the Kurdish forces or whatever to get themselves out of the safe zone. Just one day afterwards, though, you know what I mean, shells started flying again. Now, keep in mind that Turkey is actually occupying parts of northern Syria or whatever. You know what I mean? The reality is they set a deal that it actually allows them to still occupy parts of northern Syria, while the U.S. has agreed to lifting the sanctions that they imposed on Turkey. Pardon me. So it turns out to be an all-out win for the Turkish militia. A Kurdish commander did say that they would agree to the deal as well, but only in parts along the border. But activity along the border seems like it's still going to go the fuck down. And the reality is, Amnesty International reported that not only is Turkey committing war crimes by doing mass summary killings and unlawful killings, but they also reported that there have been a total of 200. Kurdish authorities are actually reporting there have been a total of 218 civilians that have been killed in this Turkish offensive, including 18 children. So shit is getting wild as fuck over there, and at this point, you just can't really believe what any of these leaders are saying. Green War and graduation. The new world order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. So, White House acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, actually had a televised press briefing at the White House. And this is why you need official motherfuckers that have positions like this, because when you have an unofficial motherfucker, an acting person in this position means that they was just chosen by the president and somebody that was slapped into place to run this position, not somebody that was actually confirmed by Congress. But anyway, in this press briefing, he says, did he mention to me in past about the DNC server? Absolutely, no question about that. But that's it, and that's why we held up the money. ... We do that all the time with foreign policy. ... And I have news for everybody. Get over it. There's going to be political influence with foreign policy. Now, I'll paraphrase a little bit, but these are the statements that he made that shocked everybody in D.C. or whatever, where it was like, he basically admitted to there being a quid pro quo regarding the $400 million that was being withheld from Ukraine and military aid for the purpose of pressuring them to open up an investigation against the Democrats. In this part, he didn't talk about how it was for investigating Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, but more so about investigating into the Democratic National Convention server for the 2016 election. So it's looked at very crazily, and it directly contradicts what President Trump was saying, was basically there was no quid pro quo involved with the money. Now, hours after this briefing, he actually had to issue a statement basically saying there was absolutely no quid pro quo regarding the Ukrainian military aid in the 2016 elections, but he already showed his ass. So, Green War and graduation. A lot of people were thinking this is a turning point in the impeachment inquiry, because it definitely gives credence to their laws being broken. So, Green War and graduation. The new world order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report, man. Shit getting bad for the Trump administration. Gordon Sondland, the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, handpicked by Donald Trump after he actually donated $1 million to his inaugural campaign, actually testified in front of the House committee yesterday, and basically confirmed that Donald Trump had made his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York City, put him in charge of foreign policy in dealing with Ukraine, sidestepping the State Department. That's typically their decision who to pick for ambassadors and all of that shit, right? So it puts him in power in that, and he actually says he didn't understand until much later that Mr. Giuliani's agenda may have been to basically pressure get Ukraine to open up this investigation into the Bidens, or directly or indirectly involve Ukraine in the election process over here. So it's looking real bad for the Trump admin. Green War and Graduation. What the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN Report. One of the three amigos, Rick Perry, Energy Secretary, has actually announced that he is resigning by the end of this year, which we only got like 2.5 months left. Now keep in mind that he's been implicated in this whole Ukraine situation involving Donald Trump and the Trump administration trying to pressure Ukraine into opening up an investigation into the Bidens, Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden, as a result of him sitting on a company's board over there in Ukraine, as well as opening up an investigation into the DNC servers over here for the past 2016 election. So this is it seems very all of a sudden, especially since the fact that he's actually been subpoenaed to speak with the House of Representatives and House committees due to his involvement in this as part of the impeachment inquiry. Green War and Graduation. What the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFM Black Fox News Report, man. Make sure you sign that petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go straight to change.org/p/get-donald-trump-off-twitter. It's not exactly why you removed from the platform. Now, I'm really kind of tired of this dude and covering the fuck shit that they do, but he's supported by a lot of people, and we still got to cover it because it affects us. The White House has officially announced that the next G7 summit, for those who don't know, the G7 summit, these are the summits where like the leaders of the top 7 countries, or the countries that are doing well economically and all of that, whatever, they actually meet, discuss foreign policy or whatever. I think this past summit happened in I think France, somewhere in Europe or whatever. This year it'll actually be at the Trump National Doral Miami Golf Resort in fucking Florida. Now, if this is not a blatant violation of the Emoluments Clause, I don't know what is. Mick Mulvaney, the White House acting chief of staff, actually said in the briefing yesterday, defending this shit, saying that they determined that this is the best place in the entire country to have the resort, somewhere where Trump and his family will be paid off of them actually hosting it. That's corruption. Green War and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So the United Nations is actually reporting that between July and September in Afghanistan, there's been 4,300 civilians either injured or killed. And this is the most that's actually ever, this is the highest on record in that amount of time span. Definitely since the U.S. has actually been in war in Afghanistan. So it's looked at as, very crazily. This is the longest war that the United States has ever been in. It going on, it's since 01, since the September 11th attacks, and they haven't, sprinting off of that shit. So again, until we build, I say again for all my followers, you may have heard me say this in the past, but until we acknowledge the truth about September 11th, 2001, and how the truth really goes against the 9/11 Commission report, we're not going to know peace, because a lot of the things that are happening today that end up in bloodshed and removal of our civil liberties result from what happened over there, the lies that were told on that. But keep in mind that 948 missiles and bombs were actually dropped by the U.S. In Afghanistan last month, the most out of any month in the past 5 years. Green War and Graduation. We'll go to Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report, this Black Fox News report. Now, I told y'all yesterday how Britain or Prime Minister Boris Johnson and the European Union have reached this tentative Brexit deal, ahead of the Halloween deadline. And they actually have scheduled a vote for this by British lawmakers in the House of Commons this Saturday, tomorrow. Now, keep this in mind, as a lot of people in opposition of it, including opposition leader Jeremy Corbyn, and he said that the Labour Party must not support this shit because what it does is it doesn't allow for free movement between Britain and Ireland as a result of creating a customs union border patrol along the Irish Sea. Also, it doesn't address the concerns that have been brought up during Theresa May's prime ministership, as well as Boris Johnson's, where people feel like they're racing towards the bottom with, and this is I'm paraphrasing what he told to the press, but that they're racing towards the bottom as far as rights and regulations, and headed towards a deregulated society where they're selling off national assets to American corporations. So it seems like this could be some some global oligarchy type shit going on that people are in fear. We'll see how this turns out. Green War and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. Make sure you sign that petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. Find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or go straight to change.org and look up Get Donald Trump off Twitter by Bishop Grady, $hip Grady, laying out exactly with irrefutable evidence why he should be removed from that platform. Chicago, the nation's third largest school district, is actually going into the teachers have actually gone into their second day of a teacher strike, and shutting down schools and all of that. You're talking about 25,000 teachers going on strike, and accompanied by 7,500 staff members from the SEIU as well that have also launched their strike yesterday. So it's going to fuck down. You see, hopefully the demands are met, because the demands include smaller class sizes, better pay and benefits, also just more staff members to actually run these schools. We're talking about nurses, counselors, et cetera, man. So it's looking crucial. Green War and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. This Black Fox News report will let you know that that $8 billion plan to close Rikers Island in New York City and actually replace it with 4 new jails has actually been approved by New York City Council, despite the protests that went on by No New Jails NYC outside of City Hall and a lot of the uproar about the decision. Whereas people have for decades actually been calling for the closing of Rikers Island because it's a shitty situation. A lot of your favorite rappers have been on Rikers Island or whatever, and they'll tell you about the horrors that go on there or whatever. At the same time, this is to replace it with 4 new jails doesn't make sense. It seems like all they're doing is just spreading what essentially would be whatever was going on in one place. They're just spreading it out across 4. There's the understanding that there's going to be like a skyscraper of prisons actually built as a result of this. $8 billion might not even be the final tab, but we'll see how this fuck shit turns out. Green War and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. So, Roylan Hernandez Diaz. This is a Cuban asylum seeker that actually was found dead in an ICE immigration detention center in Louisiana, and an apparent suicide. Now, the ACLU of Louisiana issued a statement basically saying, "We will not stand by and watch ICE torture asylum seekers for their right to seek asylum in the United States." And basically, it's looked at as just yet another tragedy of, there may be more to the story even based on the statement that the ACLU of Louisiana released. Also, Freedom for Immigrants organization actually issued a statement basically saying, or let people know that there were 2 Cuban asylum seekers in New Mexico that actually slit their wrists, and 19 others are planning on doing the same as part of a mass resistance demonstration. Green War and Graduation. The New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this BFN report. A general strike actually went down in Spain, shutting down most of Barcelona and occupying much of Barcelona, as well as the whole Catalan region of Spain. This has all been in protest ever since on Monday, when the Spanish Supreme Court actually ruled that the Catalan separatist leaders back in 2017 that were actually leading the cause for calling for Catalonian independence were actually sentenced up to from 9 to 13 years in prison as a result of their leadership in that movement. So people are still in the streets about it. They've been protesting out there all week. Green Wall and Graduation. We'll go to Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox Newz report. So it's been going down in Lebanon. I've been telling y'all that there's been like protests basically going against the government for how they've been handling the economy and the economic disparity out there. Down today, there was actually earlier today there was like roads shut down from the people putting burning tires in the roads and all of that, and people were marched in Beirut. Now, keep in mind that yesterday the Lebanon government actually made an announcement that they were going to tax calls made on WhatsApp. I guess maybe in a desperate attempt to get money for the government or whatever, but the people just are not having it over there. I mean, a lot of them are claiming to like be living in poverty and not having any access to jobs, education. They're being denied what they're considering basic rights, electricity and water and all of that shit. So, it's a crisis over there. Green Wall and Graduation. Go to Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox Newz report. Hey, yo, y'all want to hear some gangster shit? Ovidio Guzman Lopez. That name sound familiar, right? Or at least the Guzman part. It's because he is one of the sons of El Chapo. He's currently being detained in federal prison in New York, actually, in the United States, right? But shit is still going on in Mexico. And Ovidio is actually one of the leaders of the Sinaloan cartel, right? So keep in mind that he was actually detained by police forces while during a routine police check while in Culiacan, right? So he gets detained, but then after he's detained, the cartel and people from his organization, they actually come and lay siege to the whole city. You know what I'm saying? Overwhelming the police force and the Mexican National Guard. You know what I'm saying? Basically back them the fuck down after hours of fighting. 2 people ended up dying. And after a while, the Mexican authorities just released him. They let him go because his gang came and tore shit the fuck up. And 20 prisoners had actually escaped during the melee as well. So they brought the war straight to their front fucking door. Green Wall and Graduation.